Hello and welcome back to our series of tutorials about the Tanzu Application Platform GUI, Graphical User Interface, and the foundation that it's built on, the Backstage open source project. In the previous talk, we discussed the core features and functionalities of Backstage. Today, I will talk to you about how these core features are enhanced and how they enhance the experience of the Tanzu Application Platform. So let me start again by listing all the key functionalities of Backstage that we bring together as a unified developer portal experience. It starts with service discoverability. Then we have our documentation. Next one is templates. And the last but not least is platform visibility. Platform visibility. Excellent. As we start with service discoverability, and while I talk, let me try to make an attempt to draw a Tanzu logo. That should do it. That's our Tanzu. Service discoverability is aligned to the core plugin of Backstage called Software Catalog that sits at the heart of our unified developer portal experience. Software Catalog. We're also using the API Docs plugin that we talked about previously, but here VMware takes the years of experience in Spring Cloud Gateway and API Portal and enhances that plugin with what is known as API Auto Update. That lets you automatically reflect all the changes that your developers do with the API endpoints. And the next one is API scoring. That lets you score all your API docs based on your best practices and the best practices shared by the industry. And last but not least, we're using that search plugin that lets you search across all of your software catalog assets. In TechDocs, we're still aligning on the great TechDocs plugin that gives you the documentation as code experience. And lets you use that documentation as code experience. Excellent. Now remember, in templates, we were talking about the software templates core plugin of Backstage. What VMware did here is it took its extensive experience of the Spring framework and the Spring initializer that you can find at start.spring.io. And it built on the foundation of software templates to bring you the Application Accelerator plugin. That takes the templates and converts them into what we refer to as accelerators, as a very extensive experience of starter code that your developers can use that is compliant with your best practices. Now, let me turn to the platform visibility and let me enhance it with Tanzu Application Platform visibility. We do start with the core Backstage plugin called Kubernetes, but here again we are enhancing it and building on top of it to bring you the Runtime Resource Visibility plugin. Runtime Resource Visibility plugin. It builds on VMware's experience with Kubernetes and cloud-native runtimes, and brings that layer of visibility to your app developers to see how their application is running on the clusters that your Tanzu Application Platform GUI portal has visibility into. It is paired with the Application Live View plugin, the App Live View plugin. That is also a continuation of VMware's years of experience of live monitoring of Spring apps and other apps. And together they bring that extensive experience of Tanzu Application Platform visibility for the application developers. Now we also turn to serving our application operators and DevSecOps engineers. What we have for them in our Tanzu Application Platform GUI is the Supply Chain Choreographer plugin, Supply Chain plugin, and Security Analysis. Security Analysis plugin. The first one gives you visibility into the supply chains that your Tanzu Application Platform clusters have in operation. The second one is visualizing all the CVEs, all the vulnerabilities that your applications, that your scans have detected, so that your application operators and DevSecOps engineers can work with and can act upon. And I should also mention that as we are getting more feedback from our customers, from our partners, we are constantly enhancing that experience so that our customers and partners get the best possible experience from the Tanzu Application Platform GUI. This concludes our overview of the Tanzu Application Platform GUI capabilities. And today, I explained to you how the core plugins and the core functionalities of Backstage enhance and are enhanced by the Tanzu Application Platform GUI. Thank you.